In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. And we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. And if you want to engage in the content, here's how you do it. Go to JimmyRants.com. You'll see that we start off on Instagram. So go follow me at Living Low Carb Man, LivinLowCarbMan. Once you are there, you can engage live, just like all these beautiful people are doing right now. If you missed the live, it's okay. You can watch it for up to 24 hours on replay on Instagram. But if you're not the Instagram type, not everybody likes Instagram. I get it. We put all the past episodes up on YouTube. So go over to YouTube, type in a keyword, Jimmy Rants. You can also put a Google search of Jimmy Rants. You will find the show. We're quickly approaching 200 episodes, you guys. And then finally, we have a Jimmy Rants podcast, which has the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form. It's on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. JimmyRants.com is the website. Today's Jimmy Rants is your favorite time of the week because on these Jimmy Rants episodes once a week, I bring on a very beautiful and knowledgeable and amazing woman. I just happened to marry her. It was pretty cool to do that. Her name, Christine Moore, NTP. There she is. Hello, beautiful one.
Hey.
So we bring Christine on once a week because we want to provide content for our podcast. We do a podcast on Mondays called the Nutritional Pearls Podcast. And on the Nutritional Pearls Podcast, we talk about a lot of things that Christine learned through her training as a nutritional therapist. And I thought this morning I have the perfect conversation piece for this Jimmy Rants Nutritional Pearls Podcast crossover that I thought would be really cool to talk about. Because what a lot of people don't realize, our nutritional therapists are actually magicians. Did you know that? They can magically tell you when you are deficient in some nutrient in your body, when you're deficient in something that makes your health better. And so what we're going to talk about here today are the magical nutritional therapy powers of health detection. And this was the coolest thing when you were going through this program, and I had seen some nutritional therapists before, and they were like pushing on various parts of the body, and we're going to talk about some of those here today. It says they were like, well, that means that you're deficient in, and they named whatever the supplement. And I'm like, how in the world is pushing on some part of your body telling you that you're deficient in some micronutrient in your body? But it's true, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. The body is really amazing, and I mean, you see some of this in Chinese medicine too, with acupuncture and different things like that. So I mean, it's just all fascinating. Our bodies, we've forgotten how to listen to our bodies and rely on more natural means of getting better. So I think it's fascinating. I had my doubts going through the program at first. But
did you think it was woo-woo?
I did, but then once I actually had the functional evaluation done on me, then I'm like, okay, there's really something to this.
Yeah, and so what we're going to talk about is a lot of those points on the body that are the common points that you as a nutritional therapy practitioner, when you conduct what's called a functional exam. What is the actual points, though? What is this all called?
Well, I mean, they're just reflex points.
Reflex points.
Yeah, but then each point has a specific name based on its
right.
discover.
And we're going to get into that here in a minute. So let's start with the one that sends me through the roof when you press on it on my kind of upper rib cage. And this is going to be class participation. So we want you to pay attention and to learn some things that maybe when you go to see a nutritional therapy practitioner or even your physician might press on some of these points that we talk about. You now know what they will mean. So let's start with good old Murphy. because Murphy is a you-know-what.
Yeah,
I hate Murphy. Murphy, I'm coming at you, buddy.
Yeah.
Because Murphy hurts every time. So talk about Murphy's sign.
Yeah, Murphy's sign deals with the gallbladder, and your doctor, when you go in for your regular physical, your doctor very quickly does this, so you may not realize what he's doing, but he's actually doing Murphy's sign. And so that's basically on the right hand side. You go halfway between your hip bone here and then your rib cage, right in the middle there. And then there's several steps to this where you have to tell your client, I have to tell my client, okay, breathe in and exhale. And when they exhale, I press down, pretty firmly as far as, they can stand it. And then I have them breathe in and exhale again. And then at that point, I change my direction more towards under the rib cage. That way, I'm pressing up against their liver gallbladder area. And any tenderness there is an indication that there's inflammation, that the gallbladder is probably struggling in some area.
Oh, I went all Michael Bolton on Christine with a little time, love, and tenderness the first time she pressed on mine. And so, okay, so you press on Murphy's sign, and you find that on a scale of 1 to 10, or 0 to 10, right?
Yeah.
And so let's say somebody comes back like me with like 8 or 9 or 10. What do you do for them?
So for them, at that point, we can try some what's called lingual neuro testing, which I use supplements.
Lingua neuro testing. She said that really fast, but it means they stick it on the tongue. It tells your brain that you're sufficient in whatever it is they stuck on your tongue, and then your body will respond as if you are sufficient.
Yeah, I would, if they have that high of a number, I would try some sort of digestive enzyme with them to see. Like I take one called Beta Plus from Biotics Research, and because I don't have a gallbladder, they have one for people that do still have their gallbladder, and then one for people without. It just has a little bit of extra supplementation in there. I would use that supplement, have them hold it on their tongue, and then wait for about 30 seconds and then press on that point again. And if there's improvement in that number that they feel, then I know that supplement is something that their body
deficient
needs.
in.
It's fascinating.
Oh my gosh, the first time she ever did this to me, I'm like, yeah, right, you're not touching that Murphy sign again. That hurt like the dickens, and it's going to hurt like the dickens again. And it would still hurt, but instead of an 8, it would suddenly be a 4. Which it's subjective when you change the numbers.
It is.
But at least as a practitioner, you're able to say, whoa, that's a significant improvement.
Well, and that's why with each client, I'm writing down all the numbers that they give me. That way it's consistent with that person.
Right.
Because likely if something hurts just as bad, they're going to give me that same number.
Yes.
So that's why I have to keep record. I write down all the feedback that they gave me. We test the supplement, and then I repalpate the point, and then based on how they feel, I write that new number down in a different color ink or whatever. It's just kind of to keep things organized.
See, I told you guys, magical nutritional therapy powers. This is incredible. All right, I want to go to another one, because this is one that has traditionally hurt, but as of late, when she's pressed, it has not hurt. And I want you to talk about the one on the thumb pad.
Yeah.
On the right-hand thumb pad.
Yeah, so this is his...
No, don't tickle me.
Sorry. That's...
Don't tickle me. You're tickling me. Ah! Just point, but don't touch.
Right there.
Yeah, right there? Right there,
it's
okay.
called the thenar pad.
Okay, thenar.
Thenar, T-H.
Oh, thenar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
And so this is one specifically for the pancreas. And then the one on the left hand... the left thenar pad is for the heart.
So we'll let you do both.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the pancreas one? This is the right hand.
So you basically go in the middle of that pad, and you press down with your thumb.
Okay, go.
Well, my hands are cold.
Okay, I love cold hands. My hands are burning up.
Okay.
Okay, that's about a 2.
I'm applying a lot of pressure there.
She applied a whole lot of pressure. That's about a 2. So what's that mean?
That one used to be a 10 for
you.
A
10. It hurt like the dickens.
So
thank you, keto carnivore.
So that point right there kind of tells the health of your pancreas.
Okay.
If it's very tender.
And the pancreas, remember, is the organ that pumps out the insulin to help control your blood sugar, among other things.
Yeah, and glucagon.
And glucagon,
yeah.
right.
So the fact that Jimmy has done keto carnivore, for the past month, a little over a month, and he's seen that improve
Dramatically.
that tells me that his pancreas is doing better, which is really good for healing to happen,
Yes.
especially with regulating blood sugar and how he responds to certain foods.
All right. So this other one you said on the left hand is for the heart, you said?
Yeah, this one's for the heart.
And so you've never done this one before.
No.
Okay, that's a little tender. That was more like a 4 or a 5.
So
what does that mean?
So that means, there may be...
it was more pressure than it was pain.
Well, yeah.
Wasn't anything sharp.
You have a history of in your family of heart disease
right.
and heart problems.
So what would you do for a client that has a little time, love, and tenderness going on there?
Well, at that point, we have to address the foundations first, which is your digestion, which is your blood sugar regulation, fatty acids. It could be something as simple as, not enough fatty acids, because fats are something that your heart relies on, and so it could be as simple as you not absorbing and digesting and absorbing your fats.
Okay.
So
you would have like a fat enzyme.
We would
digestive enzyme.
I take you and I both take phosphatidylcholine.
Yes.
It has a mixture of all of those.
I got you.
There.
And does that include the omega-3 and 6 fats as well?
Yeah, and I think it has some 9s in there too.
Right, 3, 6, 9.
Yeah.
The complex of omega fats. Yeah.
Yeah. So with dealing with like the cardiovascular system and things like that, we always have to address the foundations first, because a lot of times what happens is if you fix the foundations, those other things will come into line.
So what do you mean when you say fix the foundations? What are those things?
So if I get your digestion working right, if I
Yes.
get your blood sugar
under
regulated,
control,
if I make sure that you're absorbing and digesting your fatty acids, if your mineral status is fine, if you're staying properly hydrated, all of those things will affect what's known as the consequences, which is in your cardiovascular, your endocrine system, your immune system, detoxification, those sort of things.
Okay. You guys learning some things? Isn't this great? Again, if you're just joining us, we are doing the crossover episode that's once a week, where we take a Jimmy Rants episode and we cross over with the Nutritional Pearls podcast. This ends up being our podcast that airs on Mondays, nutritionalpearlspodcast.com. But the lovely Christine Moore, NTP, is here sharing her truth bombs all about nutritional therapy. And what we're talking about here today is this whole magical nutritional therapy powers of health detection. And we've already talked about Murphy's sign, and we've talked about the little padding on both thumbs. What is a common one? Because I know we've talked a lot on this show all about stomach acid deficiency. Mm-hmm. Is there a common one for determining stomach acid?
Yeah, there's actually 2 points. One of them is Chapman's reflex, and then you have this other one.
Who's this Chapman dude?
he's I guess he's a doctor that used these points. There were several doctors that kind of found these reflex points.
So where's Chapman's on your body?
Chapman's is actually, there's 2 different ones for the stomach. You have your Riddler's reflex and Chapman's. So
okay.
Riddler's reflex.
Oh, show Chapman's, because you said Chapman's first.
Okay, so Chapman's, you have to go, it's on your left-hand side.
Yes.
And it's going to be right in the middle, like you have your rib cage spreading across here. It's going to be right in the middle.
Keep in mind you're on audio as well, so you've got to describe what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. If you look at the front of your rib cage there on your left-hand side, the front, it's going to be right down the middle of your left-hand side, if that makes sense.
It does.
And so what you would need to do is count down. You can
10,
feel your ribs.
9, 8, like that kind of countdown?
No, you would count. For most people, this point, for women, it's directly underneath the bra line. And then for men, it's going to be, right below the chest area. But it's going to be in your 6th intercostal space. So you
Whoa.
I know.
Intercostal? I didn't know I was going to have to learn Star Wars to know how to do this.
So you have, those spaces in between each rib. That's an
intercostal space?
That's called an intercostal space.
Did you learn something? I just did.
And so this point is going to be right in the middle on the left-hand side in that 6th intercostal space. And then you just press down firmly and, based on that reading, that tells me...
0 to 10 again.
0 to 10. Whether you might be deficient in stomach acid.
So it'll be very tender if it's deficient.
Yes, and mine, when I had mine done, I was like 8 to 10.
And most people would be, because we said 9 out of 10 people have deficiency in stomach acid. We did a whole episode on that a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
And so that's not surprising.
Right, no, it's not surprising at all.
So what's the other one?
The other one is Riddler's reflex,
Okay.
HCl point.
Not the Joker's reflex?
Right, no. Riddler's. So for this one, you're looking at your rib cage, where your rib cage meets. It's going to be like right at your chest area. That place is called your xiphoid process.
Xiphoid, spell that.
It's
C-Y-P-H, X-Y.
I think it's X-Y.
P-H-O-I-D?
Yeah, P-H. Yes. I had to think about
I know how to spell. That is one thing that I learned well in school.
So you find where your rib cage meets there, right in the middle, and then you go down about an anatomical inch. So what you have to do is measure on yourself the distance between the top of your thumb, the tip of your thumb, and that first knuckle. That's an anatomical inch for you. So it's going to be different for everybody.
So mine is longer than yours.
Yeah, it's going to be different for everybody, and so this is why it's
Turn towards the camera. There
yeah.
you go. See the difference?
Yeah, so this is why you need to...
Anatomical inch, not an inch.
Right. So you do that, and then it's going to be on the side of your left rib cage, not on top of the rib cage, but on the side of that rib cage. So it's going to be right there for me.
This is a fun party game, by the way.
Right there. And obviously that was still tender for me
because of the stomach acid.
I still struggle with that one.
Does that ever heal? What would make it heal?
It does. I mean, I'm taking digestive enzymes, but
a long time.
I was taking some hydrochloric acid supplementation, but it hurt my stomach, and I didn't realize that I still had some stomach ulcers that
unresolved.
And they're not big ones; they're just tiny ones.
Right.
It was enough to hurt the stomach, and that's why it's really important that you need to work with somebody that can kind of walk you through. Okay, if your stomach starts to hurt, then back off to this amount.
Right.
So it's a long process. I didn't get there overnight, and so it's going to take a while for me to heal. Remember, I've only known about this for about a year now.
Right.
So it takes a while to work on it. But anyway, so you have the Riddler's reflex, and that's another indication of stomach acid production. And then you have one that's on the right hand side.
Yeah, what's that for?
Across.
That's Riddler's reflex, right?
That one's for. Let me see if I can remember this right. Let me look at my cheat sheet.
I'm testing her. Yes, she has a little cheat sheet.
I do, because I've so that's for your pancreas as well.
Pancreas.
So you have your thenar pad, your right thenar pad, and then on
then
the
the
right
right
here, right across. So if you were to do the
and
one,
it's called
that one's Riddler's reflex.
Riddler's
pancreas.
reflex pancreas.
Pancreas.
This one's Riddler's reflex
HCl point.
HCl point for stomach acid production.
Yeah.
On the left.
Yeah.
Y'all getting all this? It's pretty good stuff.
And then you have, just like you had the Chapman's reflex over here underneath,
Which is higher.
Right.
Than the HCl point.
Right. In this 6th intercostal space, you go right across on your right hand side, and that one's for
Mirror
your
image.
gallbladder. Yes, that one's for your gallbladder.
Ah. So if you press on that real tender spot, hopefully not tender, on the left side, that means your gallbladder's kind of whacked.
Yeah. So this is all for digestion, and we have some that are for the small intestine, the large intestine.
Right.
There's what's called Bennett's reflex, and that's like right around your.
Who's this Bennett guy?
Another one of these doctors.
So what's the Bennett's reflex? I'm sorry.
So this one is a test for your small intestine health. And so you basically...
Why do we care about that? What's the small intestine accomplish?
So your small intestine, 60% of your immune system is in your gut.
Whoa.
Your small intestine. And then 90% of serotonin production happens in
Whoa.
the gut.
If you want to be happy, you better make that small intestine happy.
Yep. So if you have symptoms like alternating diarrhea and constipation, if you have excess bloating, if you just don't have an appetite. It could be signs of poor gut health. And so this is one of those things that it's broken down into 4 quadrants, and it's right around your belly button. And then, so basically you kind of draw a circle around your belly button, about an inch to 2 inches around it. You break that up into 4 quadrants, and each quadrant is supposed to represent a portion of the intestines.
Interesting.
So
you hit all 4 quadrants?
I get 4 separate readings on that.
Nice. Is it common to see like a discordance, like one quadrant will be like an 8, but then another one will be like a 2?
Yeah, because you have the one down here is going to be near your ileocecal valve.
Oh boy, there's another one.
So
what does ileocecal valve mean?
Your ileocecal valve is the valve that's in between the small intestine and the large intestine.
Okay, what purpose
and
does
so
it serve?
Oftentimes, this is where undigested food can get stuck.
And
it can inflame that area. And so if you press on that lower quadrant right there, it's going to be a little bit tender if you've got some inflammation, if you're not digesting your foods properly. So
is this where you don't have enough stomach acid and the proteins putrefy and all that kind of stuff you talk about?
Or it could be something as simple as you not chewing your food thoroughly. So I like to tell my clients to sit there and chew their food 30 times. Yeah, exactly. A lot of us are busy, and we don't all the time remember to do that. And then staying hydrated, helps keep things moving along too.
Yeah.
But yes, stomach acid is a big. It causes problems with the ileocecal valve because there are undigested foods in there.
Gotcha. All right. So again, if you're just joining us, we're going over the magical nutritional therapy powers of health detection. I've seen a few of your fellow NTPs come on here. I saw Mitzi come on. I think I saw Carol come on. So thanks for being here. This is a refresher for you guys. The rest of you, this is brand new information that maybe you don't know about. Maybe you didn't realize people like Christine have magical wizardry powers to determine if you're deficient in some micronutrient or stomach acid or some of these other things, what the state of your pancreas is. Mm-hmm. It's pretty amazing stuff. So what is a common one that most NTPs run that they see problems with besides the ones we've already talked about?
Well, there's several, and they're not just points on the body. It's how your body reacts to certain things. So there's something called Raglan's posterior, and I can't think of the last word.
I can tell Raglan where to take his posterior. So
for this test, I would have my client lay down.
Okay.
I would take his or her blood pressure to get a reading.
Oh, this is really cool. I like this.
And then what I would do is get that reading, and then pump up the blood pressure cuff again, have the client stand up really quickly, and then take the reading again. And if there is a drop in blood pressure, then I know that there's some adrenal fatigue going on. So that's a test.
Did you guys know that? That was pretty wicked the first time Christine ever did that. So how often do you see it go down as a percentage?
Probably for most people. I mean, there's a few instances where it actually goes up. And
why would it go up? They're healthy?
Well, I mean, if it stays the same, then you're good. If it goes up maybe 5 points, I think you're okay. But there could be some problems in the other way.
Direction with adrenal, instead of adrenal fatigue, adrenal overdrive?
Yeah, so your adrenal glands help regulate your blood pressure. And so, and staying hydrated does as well. If you're dehydrated, then you'll tend to have a little bit higher blood pressure. But your adrenal glands are responsible for, just, I guess the it's hard to explain without getting too technical.
So explain it technically. Go.
No, I was just gonna say the adrenal glands are responsible for helping to regulate blood pressure. So if they're fatigued, it's not going to be able to compensate quickly enough. And this is why some people, when they get up really quickly, and this has happened to me, where I've been laying down in the bed and I get up really quickly, forgetting that I typically have low blood pressure anyway.
Yeah. And
I get really dizzy, and so I have to lay back down. So this would be some person that I would need to get some adrenal support, and that would kind of let me know maybe I need to look at their blood sugar regulation too, to see how their blood sugar is going, because your adrenal glands are also responsible for blood sugar regulation when the pancreas gets worn out.
So besides adrenal, what do you do for this besides what you've already said to do? What are some of the... So if you see somebody, their blood pressure dropped significantly, which indicates they have adrenal issues, you said blood sugar regulation. What are some other things that you do?
Well, I mean, I would definitely I would recommend that they take a supplement that's good for blood sugar regulation.
Right, like berberine
or chromium.
Chromium, cinnamon.
Or, anything like that. And then, of course, Biotics also has...
And adrenal support.
Adrenal support.
What's that called?
ADP something.
ADP, ABC, XYZ. Talk to a nutritional therapist. They can help you figure it out.
Biotics does things the right way. All
right.
Of their
pharmaceutical grade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think they have two different ones for the adrenal glands. One of them is if you need a little bit of extra support.
Yeah.
And then the other one is just for like a maintenance type of thing, I think.
Right. And any nutritional therapist can order from Biotics for you.
Yep. And then there's also another fascinating one that's called paradoxal pupillary response.
PPR.
And then this involves me shining a little light into your, not directly into the eye, but
from the side.
From the side like this, and I observe how your pupil responds.
It should not dilate, but go the other direction. Contract, right?
And stay there for 20 seconds, I think it is. But for people with adrenal fatigue, their pupil will either dilate and then
get big
again.
Wow.
Or you'll see it like dilate and then start to pulse and then open up again.
Wow.
Or sometimes it doesn't dilate at all.
Wow.
It depends on the degree of the adrenal fatigue.
Yeah. See, so a lot of people, they say, well, I have adrenal fatigue. They just kind of throw that out there, kind of like fibromyalgia. And you were told you had fibromyalgia for many years. Yeah. She had vitamin D deficiency. That's what she had.
Yep.
And so, people often say adrenal fatigue. Guys, an NTP can tell you if you actually have adrenal fatigue or not and give you some real advice. So we've given them a lot of points. Is there anything else major you want to share?
Let's see. There's one for there's several.
Yeah, go.
There's one for the large intestine. That's
okay.
It's just the...
Why is the large intestine important?
So, I mean, this is where a lot of your nutrients are
absorbed. Okay.
And their
is that where the
waste is recycled, water's recycled?
Is that where the fatty acid production and butyrate and all that takes place?
K2
production.
B1.
And, so it's big.
Yeah. So the health of your large intestine is very important too. So you have 3 different points. We actually kind of did it like going up the ascending colon, which is on your right side. Then you have your transverse colon, which is going across the body, and then your descending colon, which is on your left-hand side. And so we would palpate each of those areas
3 different times,
and then get a number for each area.
Okay.
And then something that kind of goes along with that, it doesn't always match up, but your iliotibial band.
You're wearing dark pants, so it's hard to see it. Hard.
So this band along the side of your leg, this is supposed to, if you break this up into 3 quadrants, it's supposed to kind of correlate with this, with the large intestine thing. And so there's also right in the middle here, there's for your endocrine system, there's a point there too. So they kind of overlap, these points. That's fascinating too, but I think that's your iliotibial band. Or, no, wait, let me think about that.
Look at your notes if you have to.
Look at my notes.
She's going to look at her notes. She said like 6 times in 10 seconds, so
yeah, I know.
I know when she's doing that, she's in trouble. So look at your notes, sweetie. So if you're just joining us, we are talking all about these magical nutritional therapy powers of health detection. So nutritional therapy practitioners learn that there are points on the body that they can press on. There's certain things that they do within the course of their functional evaluation where they can determine if a client is deficient in stomach acid, for example, or if they have some issue with an organ, or if they have some deficiency in their micronutrient deficiencies and things like that. So
I guess I'm guessing myself. It is the iliotibial band, and then you have something that's right around right here called the inguinal ligament.
Ho. The what?
Inguinal ligament. That's
Inguinal ligament.
I'm second guessing. This is.
I think they just make up these words, man. There's no way these are real words.
My sister knew exactly what I was talking about because she used to
medical. Yeah, she's in medical, right?
Here's another fascinating thing too.
Fascinating.
So if you go to a chiropractor and he kind of tests your leg length, and you have one leg shorter than the other,
usually, yeah,
that can be a sign of adrenal issues as well.
Mic drop.
I know, right? So if somebody, because we
how's that work?
So I don't understand how it works, but it's all connected with the inguinal
Is it the
ligament.
tilting?
Well, it's. I'm trying to remember how it was explained to me. I can't. Maybe.
So,
if Mitzi's on here, she can help.
So if a chiropractor gets you straight again, that can indirectly help with your adrenal fatigue.
It can, but you'll notice that if you have trouble maintaining a correction that the chiropractor does,
the adrenal fatigue. But you correct the adrenal fatigue through some of the supplements and things we talked about, then that should correct that thing. Yeah. Now, how cool would it be if your chiropractor could tell you that?
Mm-hmm. It would.
I've never heard any chiropractor say that.
Yeah, because we would take when we were doing this in the class, we would take the client's legs, pull on them a little bit, and stretch their legs,
wiggle, yeah,
and then lay it down, and then measure their feet whether they were side by side like that.
Interesting.
So my right leg was always like a quarter of an inch shorter than my left.
We call her Gimpy for short. She tilts a little bit to the left.
Yeah.
Or to the right. What else? Anything else? Or we covered
see.
Most of the big ones?
Well, yeah, I think for digestion and blood sugar regulation, you have other ones that are like for the consequences, like your endocrine system and things like that. But I thought the digestion and blood sugar would be, since those of us on a ketogenic diet are really interested in in those things, that would be the ones to go over. Right.
So whenever you find these things kind of out of whack, you find supplementation that you do that lingua neural testing, where they're literally putting like a powdered version or what was that one? The zinc oxide that you have them drink? Talk about that one. That's kind of cool.
That's the Aqueous Zinc solution.
That one.
Yeah, so you can get this from Amazon. And it's just like a little bottle of zinc solution in water. And I have my client take a tablespoon of it and swish it around in their mouth.
Yeah.
And if they taste something immediately that's repulsive, then their zinc status is probably good. If after 30 seconds they don't taste anything, it just tastes like water, then they're zinc deficient. If it tastes sweet to the taste, then they're severely zinc
What's
deficient.
up with the sweet thing? Because you've said that before.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems weird it would turn sweet.
Yeah, I don't know what the mechanism is there. It's fascinating to me how the body reacts that way.
Yes.
But the fact that if you don't taste anything, it tastes like water, which I was deficient
Most people.
in zinc. Yeah.
Because zinc is a critical element in stomach acid.
Yep.
See,
you're learning.
I'm learning.
Yeah. So a lot of people are going to be deficient in that one. The body's just really amazing. That's its way of telling you that you need that. And so if that's the case, then I will have the client go ahead and swallow
Yes.
that, because it's not going to hurt them. They need it.
Right. And take more. Drink the whole bottle.
So you can either do that, or Biotics again has two different zinc supplements. One that's for severe deficiency, and then one that they can take. I think that one's Zinc Zyme Forte, and then the other one is one that you can take, pretty much every day.
So I've been sick since I came back from this conference last week, and I've been taking that zinc supplement about triple the dose of what you normally would, and I'm sure it's helped.
Oh yeah, definitely zinc is another thing for the immune system as well. So whenever we feel whenever we feel a sore throat or a cold coming on, we will start popping the zinc, the D, and the C. And that's done.
Zinc, D, and C. It sounds like our new rap group.
I know. And I can tell you personally, I used to get sick quite often with
you did.
Cold, and my colds would always turn to bronchitis.
And you actually would cough so hard you would break ribs.
Yep, I've done that. But I can honestly I think the last time that I got sick was actually going through the nutritional therapy program.
You're gonna jinx yourself.
I know. So
but she has not been sick a lot. That's true.
I haven't been sick since then, and I was sick
that was
then
stressful.
Because I was just under a lot of stress.
Yeah, it was a lot of stress.
But yeah, I
just to live with me, so it's a lot of stress.
It's been a while since I've actually been sick.
Yeah. All right, guys. So the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants Nutritional Pearls podcast crossover episode is there are some pretty unique magical powers that nutritional therapists like this beautiful lady here possess to be able to show you what's going on in your health. And so if you've never gone to see a nutritional therapy practitioner before and gone through the functional exam, we highly, highly recommend it. And you've learned about just a few of the points. The functional exam takes like an hour and a half to go through all of the different points on the body.
And a lot of times, I will, if I do see somebody in person, I won't do the entire functional evaluation on them. I will just stick with digestion and blood sugar.
The main points.
Yeah, just at first, and then I'll come back and do the others. But digestion, because those are part of the foundations, that's really...
Right.
A good indication of where to start with the client.
Gotcha. So Christine, by the way, is at rebootingyournutrition.com. You do see local clients where we live in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So if you live in and around Spartanburg and you want this little lady to do some of that functional evaluation, take you on as a client, I'm sure you'd be happy to help them out. But look for a nutritional therapist. Nutritionaltherapy.com has a list of all of the nutritional therapy practitioners that might be in your area who could help you. And guys, if you don't know, you don't know, which is what I love about the functional exam. All right, let's see what these guys have to say.
And
Go ahead.
This is why I recommend, I kind of went through the nutritional therapy practitioner program to just learn more about myself.
Yes.
And this information has been such a benefit to myself, and I'm like, man, this stuff's not being talked about. So if you want to just learn more to maybe help figure out some stuff and learn a whole bunch of great information, go through the program. It's well worth it.
Yeah, a lot of people are learning and finding out about nutritional therapy, so we're happy to be a conduit of information for that. Wow, lots of people joined. Kimberly, who you met in Virginia Beach, such a smart lady. I love Christine. Yeah, who doesn't love this beautiful lady?
Sweet.
Sue says, I am learning. Christine is so full of knowledge. Great. Shh, don't tell her. She might get the big head. All right. Wow, no commentary, really. Bullock in 2018, interesting, she said. Good job, good job. Kimberly says, this is the first winter I have not been violently sick all winter ever since taking vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc. It's done such wonders for me.
Yep.
Vitamin D, I did, 50,000 IU? And then the zinc, I did triple the dosage of normal. And yeah, it's helped with this cold I've been dealing with. Jesse says, oh, good, you're still here. I got a call. I so wanted to take this program in the fall. trying to put the funds together. Yeah, it's an expensive program, but guys, Christine, you hear how nerdy she is? She's been nerdy her whole life, was salutatorian of her high school class after all. But you took to this information, and I'm just in awe when I get to hear her share about this stuff, which is why I love doing this show with her.
Well, and I thought I knew a lot just basically listening to you for so long,
right?
You know, talk about this stuff, but there's just so much that I learned that I haven't heard from you,
right?
And so this is
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so the program is so worth it.
Yeah. C-Doc says not all nutritionists encourage keto. Well, keep in mind, a nutritionist is a far different thing than a nutritional therapy practitioner. An NTP is different than a nutritionist. But you're exactly right. Not all nutritionists and most dietitians don't agree with keto. But the NTA is very open to really anything that would work for the bio-individuality of people. And you practice as a ketogenic NTP, but if you've got a client, and you're seeing a bunch of them now, if you've got a client that keto's just not going to work for, you're not going to force it on them.
Right. I mean, someone may come to me and they don't necessarily need to eat a ketogenic diet. They could stand to have a few more carbohydrates, either because they are an athlete or their blood sugar is fine. They just have other issues going on. So I don't recommend, even though I personally do a ketogenic diet, I don't recommend a ketogenic diet for everybody. I have to look at my client on an individual basis. And here's something that we need to remember too, is that a ketogenic diet is going to look different for everybody, because everybody has different carb tolerances. We know people who can have a carb refeed in the evening, and their blood sugars are just fine because they've healed their body. They did.
And we hate those people.
Because they've healed their body, and so their blood sugar, if they have a sweet potato or something like that, their blood sugar doesn't go wonky anymore because they've actually done the healing.
Right,
so
they're insulin sensitive now.
A ketogenic diet is just going to look different for everybody.
Right. Jesse says, I hope we can meet one day, Christine. And, oh yeah, you too, Jimmy. Jesse. Just kidding. Nita says, before keto, I had heartburn, and she said HERD, but I think she meant GERD.
Yeah.
Haven't had it for 6 months now. That's a healing of digestion, right?
Yeah, because a lot of times your acid reflux and GERD happen because you're not digesting your food. So you're probably getting the nutrients that are needed to produce the stomach acid, so the food doesn't sit in the stomach too long, and which is what happens, if the food, comes back up, it's going to burn the esophagus.
Right.
So yeah, you're probably getting the nutrients that your body needs.
So Low Carb Keto for Life has a great comment. Is prescription vitamin D the same as vitamin D? No, it's not. That's vitamin D2, and what we refer to as vitamin D3, which typically you can find without a prescription pretty much everywhere vitamins are sold. What you're looking for is a gel cap. So what Christine and I use are these 5,000 international unit IU of vitamin D3 gel cap. I think the one we get has coconut oil as the base, but some have olive oil. Just be aware there are some that have seed oils like soybean oil. You don't want those. They're no bueno. But olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, even MCT oil, all would be acceptable forms of the D3. But look for the gel caps. The one that your doctor prescribes you, the vitamin D2 and the 50,000 IU, it's simply not going to be absorbed into the body in the same way. So no, it's not the same.
Right.
Right?
Yep, you got it.
My hubby gets bronchitis every year. We'll have to try the zinc on him, says Sue B.
Yes, yeah, that'll definitely help. So make sure you do the zinc, D, and C, because they're all good.
Well, and think about this. Zicam, that's all it is.
Yep.
Zicam is the biggest scam because all you have to do is buy zinc.
I know, right?
And let's shoot it up our nose in the form of gel.
Or they do have those dissolvable tablets.
Oh, they do. Yeah. But just take zinc.
Just take zinc.
They were smart. They know it'll shorten the length of your of your cold. The gut is supposed to be our second brain, after
It
all,
is.
says middle of a forest.
Yep, that's right.
That's why you want to take care of it.
Yep.
How long is the program, Christine? Bonnie wants to know. So it's 9 months. You had your baby.
Yep, 9 months. So I just found out this past week I'm going to be a group leader for the Herndon, Virginia 2019 class. And so we start this Monday and we finish up in November.
Nice.
End of October, beginning of November, something like that.
And you might see a cameo if you're in the Herndon class.
Yeah.
Well, you will see her, but you might see me.
So it is 9 months. There are, if you go through the NTC, the Nutritional Therapy Consultant Program, I think that one's actually a year now. They do it 12 months.
Because it's a lot of information.
Well, I
in
mean,
9
they
months.
actually learn the same information that an NTP does.
Right.
I don't know why they do it this way, but the NTP program should be the one that's a year.
Right.
Because the NTPs learn that.
No, what I was saying was it's a lot of information for the NTP program.
Yeah.
So since they're not doing it in the functional exam, they spread it out so it's not so much work on the NTCs.
Yeah, well, I was
But
saying,
I get what you're saying. You've got extra work to do. Why are you doing it in a shorter time?
Yeah.
Because you're the smarter ones.
No. So, yeah, the NTC, I think, if I remember right, they've changed things up. It's all online.
Wow.
The NTP program, you have 3 training weekend workshops to go to, and you could probably find one that's fairly close to you.
T. West Hughes wants to know, what do you think of adding K2 to the vitamin D? Well, they work hand in hand, and a lot of these supplements now have vitamin K2 D3 as a combo.
Yep. You need both D and K2 for calcium. Yep.
Yeah. Are there any side effects? R.W. Hempel wants to know with taking supplements and vitamins. Yeah, I mean,
it depends.
Minimal. And I would think if you're sufficient in whatever you're supplementing with, your body's got to deal with that.
Yeah, so the ones you really have to be careful with are your fat-soluble vitamins, because you don't pee those out. So, like, last time I went to the doctor, they tested my B vitamin, or I think it was my B12, and it was a little high, but she said I'm not worried about that because you just pee it out.
Right. Because it's water soluble as a B vitamin.
Yeah, it's your fat soluble ones that you need to be a little bit more careful with.
You don't want to pee those out. You won't pee them out.
I would say that if you tend to be nauseous when you take vitamins on an empty stomach, that's a need for more stomach acid and maybe possibly detoxification issues. I still can't take vitamins on an empty stomach, and you can't either.
No, it sucks.
So that would be the only really thing that I would be concerned about, is watch your fat soluble ones.
Right.
If you're
ADENK, by the way.
Yeah. If you are eating a lot of good quality meats, then you might be okay.
Go keto carnivore.
Yeah. That's an option. You will find that you have problems if you are not producing enough stomach acid, because you're not going to be able to digest and absorb those nutrients properly.
So Lizzie Taylor wants to know, is there a better time of day to take vitamins or with food, and for the best absorption?
As far as the absorption goes, I am not aware. I usually take mine with food again, because I will get sick to my stomach if I don't.
Right.
So I always usually tend to take mine in the evening. And then if I find that I need extra supplementation, I may take a zinc in the morning or whatever. If I feel like I'm coming down with something, I'll take a little bit of extra of that. But usually all my vitamins I take kind of together with my biggest meal.
Yeah. Jesse says, I do a D3 K2 via MK7 that is in the spirulina that she takes. So she takes her omega at the same time. Is this a good idea? There's no contraindication, is there?
No.
Having omega fats with those things?
I'm not aware of any.
Shouldn't be. What vitamins for dry skin, especially dry hands, says Marilyn?
Well, dry skin can be a hydration issue. If you are not drinking enough water for your body's needs, that could lead to dry skin. Or if you are having trouble absorbing your fatty acids, digesting and absorbing your fatty acids. That will lead to dry skin. But you can do vitamin E. There is a vitamin E oil that you can get, and I don't know of any specific brand names. I just remember my mom used to have a little vial of this vitamin E that she would rub on her hands.
And now she sticks it under her eyes. I'm just kidding.
In all honesty, you can take coconut oil and kind of do the same thing. I mean, you may smell like coconut, but I mean, it's going it's going to be really good. I mean, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you cook bacon and then you wash your pan and it has that bacon grease on it, you'll feel your hands and they're nice and soft. It's that fat. And so you need hydration and you need fat in your diet to have good skin. And then you can take collagen too. Collagen is good for so many things.
See, another benefit of being keto, you get soft hands from the bacon grease.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of collagen, we've actually been adding in more collagen from beef. It doesn't taste beefy. People get weird when you have beef collagen.
We have unflavored.
And it's unflavored gelatin collagen, and we've been making little gummies and stuff out of it, putting electrolyte supplement in there. Yep. We've done some of like a high-fat powder in there. We're having fun with that.
Oh, yeah, a lot of fun. And he just got me some Star Trek little molds.
Yeah, Star Trek mold.
So, we're getting really creative. We have some Star Wars molds. We have, he just fixed me one the other day, R2-D2. So we make it fun.
Yes.
And we even give some of that to our chickens, too.
And
they eat it up.
Oh, I fed it to my chickens today, one that was a botched batch. They're like, we'll take it.
Yep.
They ate it up, man.
They did.
So, guys, the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants is the magical nutritional therapy powers of health detection cannot be misunderstood, because it's pretty amazing what you guys get to do as nutritional therapists, and how cool it is to determine various parts of your health. So if you've never seen a nutritional therapy practitioner, I know a good one somewhere. Rebootingyournutrition.com is Christine, but look for one on the nutritional therapy website, nutritionaltherapy.com. You can find one near you, because it's pretty cool to know, okay, maybe I'm deficient in stomach acid. Maybe my pancreas isn't working as well as I thought it should. Maybe I need to look at how are my small and large intestines doing. If you know all of those things, then knowledge is power, and you can make a better choice about what to do in your health. So hopefully today's episode of Jimmy Rants / Nutritional Pearls podcast helped you out, helped you understand. We always get to enjoy the lovely, the beautiful, the talented Christine Moore. So thanks for being here, hun.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, guys, that's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, engage in the content live. And we do get this beautiful lady once a week who comes on and does a special Jimmy Rants episode. JimmyRants.com is the website. And so we start off on Instagram. Go follow me there at Livin' Low Carb Man, LivinLowCarbMan. Once you're there, you can engage live, just like all these people did here today. If you missed the live, we do have it on replay for 24 hours for you on Instagram, so go watch it there. After 24 hours, it does disappear, but we throw all the past episodes up on YouTube. So type in Jimmy Rants as a keyword search. You will find the show. Finally, we have a Jimmy Rants podcast, which has the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form. JimmyRants.com. So until next time, we'll see you then.